After starting to garden, in the morning in the veranda of our house, there were some birds' beaks lying. I know maybe some bird comes to roost here for the night. I knew this was its night discharge. But one day the drops of blood were falling. Once in a while some of the animal's gut hairs started falling out. If it is a sitting bird, where did all this come from? At last, after eating half of the dead mice, the bird's feet and feathers etc. started falling. Although bats used to come to the plant to gather in front of the house, I knew that they would eat the fruit. Once he got up in the middle of the night and put on a torch and found 2 or 3 bats hanging. Seeing the light of my lamp they all flew away. A wild bird that had been caught dropped the chick and flew away. I saw bats flying to catch the sacrificial worm of the street lamp. But I know that they are full-fledged hunters who catch mice and birds too. I got angry at these messing up the porch. Once I tied a rope to the boat and threw it and dropped one to the ground. The funny thing is that bats that have fallen to the ground cannot fly straight from the ground like birds. Because their hind legs are an integral part of their wings, they cannot stand and fly like birds. If the wings are played, the wings hit the ground like clapping hands. I left the bat that fell on the ground without breaking it to see how it would fly. It crawled like a worm and crawled a little distance and climbed a small plant and flew away. It is nothing new that bats are also carnivores. They are commonly mistaken for fruit trees as they attack fruit plants. If you look at the canine teeth in their mouths, you can tell that they are basically carnivores. The main food of the South American vampire bat is the warm blood of living animals. Animals too. Even when humans are sleeping, they come silently and bite near the neck without causing any pain and drink a lot of blood. Because it adds a chemical to the blood to prevent the blood from coagulating the wound, it continues to ooze out in torrents for a long time after the blood is drunk. By the time the sleeper wakes up, he is lying in a pool of blood. Currently, there are no blood-drinking bats in our country. The inaudible sounds made by these vampire bats are almost audible to dogs. Vampires never bite dogs because they wake up quickly. Therefore, in South America where there is a plague of these vampires, people sleep with dogs nearby. As soon as the bats come, the dogs run away, alert to the bats. Considering all this, bats are the strangest mammals we have today. Among mammals there are several flying animals called flying cat, flying squirrel, flying mouse. They can float long distances in the air with the help of leathery webs attached to their hind legs, but they are flightless, jumping from tall trees and floating long distances like gliders. But it cannot be called flight, because they cannot fly up by flapping their wings. The only truly flying mammals we have today are bats. But it is not their strange shapes that have bothered scientists. With his P3 secret sense sensitivity, scientists have been experimenting with bats for almost 100 years to find out which flies in the dark. Until now, bats have been an enigma to scientists.